Blackhawks go to overtime in Dallas, but ultimately are not able to come away with 2 points. The Stars take this one 4-3. Now, the first period of this game was the best one for sure for the Blackhawks. They came out of the gate real strong. They got the first 2 goals of this hockey game. The first one was scored by Tyler Bertuzzi. He deflected in a shot from Artem Levshinov, who I thought had a fantastic first period. The second goal was scored by Sam Rinzel just a few minutes after that one. And on this play, the puck kind of came loose to Rinzel in the slot. He just had a perfect shot, was able to beat the Smith in net for the Stars and make it 2-0. Now on that play, Oliver Moore went into the boards hard. He went on the forecheck, was a successful forecheck because the puck did end up getting to Sam Rinzel, who scored that goal. But Moore went into the boards hard. It looked like he jammed his lower leg or knee area, and he exited this game and did not return post-game. Jeff Blashill didn't have much of an update on Moore, except for the fact that he will not play in tomorrow's game. So it didn't look too good. Going to be worth monitoring moving forward, but probably going to take a few days before we have an actual timeline on Oliver Moore. So that's kind of unfortunate. He only played a minute 49 in this game, did pick up an assist, but did not play much in this one, and it did not look like a great injury. So hoping for the best for Moore, but it was 2-0 Hawks. They played pretty well, got their best chances of the game for the most part in the first frame. The Stars, though, did exit, or they did put one on the board as the period was winding down, made it 2-1, heading into the second, where this period was really all Arvid Soderblom. He was working on a fantastic game through 2 periods. He had multiple highlight reel saves in that second stanza, and a couple that bailed out Artem Levshinov, who had a great first frame, not so good in the second. He was turning pucks over a little bit out of position. And then in the third period, the Stars were able to get on the board a few times. They made it 3-2. They were able to they were able to solve Arvid, who had really kept the Blackhawks. It was kind of miraculous that he had kept the lead for the Blackhawks through 40 minutes. But the Stars made it 3-2. Clock was winding down. Blackhawks went to the 6-on-5, which, as we know, they have not scored on a 6-on-5 goal until tonight, where Connor Bedard risked a point shot that did deflect off a Stars player, found its way in, and it made it 3-3 and set this game to overtime. It is the first 6-on-5 goal for the Blackhawks this season. They have been so bad on the 6-on-5, but they were able to get one to get in this game. They pushed it to overtime, but Miro Heiskanen kind of ended it pretty quickly with a nice little push shot on the backhand where he was driving down the middle. It beat Arvid. Probably a little bit of a soft one that you wouldn't love to give up, but for me, Arvid kept the Blackhawks in it really through 40 minutes. This was a pretty bad Connor Bedard game overall. He did kind of save it a bit with that game-tying goal late in the third, but he just didn't generate much, which is pretty surprising considering post-Olympics, Bedard has just been on fire. It feels like he's generating 5, 6, 7 chances per game. He had multiple last night or 2 nights ago versus the Canucks, where it felt like he could have had 2 or 3 goals. And this one, it really wasn't shaping up to where he would have any or even any chances, but he did get that one late. But he only won 1 of 9 faceoffs in this game. Faceoffs have been a major problem since the Blackhawks traded Dickinson and Foligno at the deadline. They've only won 32% of draws in the 2 games since those 2 guys' departure. On the bright side, Frank Nazar picked up 2 assists in this game. Now he has back-to-back multi-point games, which is a great sign for Frank. Hopefully he's kind of breaking out of what feels like a multiple month-long slump. So he picked up 2 assists. Teuvo Teravainen had 2 assists in this game. Kind of found this stat shocking by Jack Bushman on Twitter. He pointed out that Teravainen's assist on the Sam Rinzel goal was his first even-strength assist since November 20th. That's a 35-game stretch where Teuvo did not record an even-strength assist, which was about as shocking of a stat as what I learned a couple nights ago, that Frank Nazar had only scored his 3rd goal since October. Those are just some crazy long slumps that are almost hard to comprehend. That Nazar, Bertuzzi, and Teravainen line was a +3 tonight, so it's nice to see Frank's line contributing more and more here out of the Olympic break, as he had been in a pretty big slump, and there were times and games even recently where that Nazar line is really the only one that wasn't going. So tonight it was the opposite. I like putting Bertuzzi up there with Frank and Teuvo, and it's looked good so far. With this overtime loss, the Blackhawks still have the third best draft lottery odds. They sit at 57 points in 63 games. They're tied technically kind of with the Blues and Flames, who have also 57 points, but in 62 games. The Rangers sit one spot below the Blackhawks in the standings. They have 56 points in 62 games. So it is a tight race here down the stretch in terms of draft lottery odds. Connor Bedard risking that shot from the point potentially hurts the Blackhawks draft lottery odds if for whatever reason they're 1 point behind a top draft lottery spot. That might be one to look back on, but I'm honestly okay with it. I will take a point for like a big Bedard highlight like that. That was a real fun surprise because I did not have high expectations for that 6-on-5 just with how bad the Blackhawks have been on the 6-on-5 this season. So that was a fun surprise and a nice goal by Bedard. To get into some takeaways now. Here over on Twitter at Blackhawks Focus, first one says, didn't deserve a point. Davidson probably took McKenna out of his top 10 after watching the Stars defend Bedard today. Bedard did get shut down pretty well by the Stars, but I don't think McKenna's outside the top 10 yet. Bedard doesn't know how to tank. That's kind of what I was just saying. That's kind of funny, but I'll definitely take the Bedard highlight. Funny how Bedard scored from the point to tie it. None of your D-man take quality point shots. The young guys who are supposed to lead this team are still scared. I kind of disagree. I think the Blackhawks have a few guys that can get shots off from the point. Wyatt Kaiser specifically comes to mind. It's still kind of a work in progress for Levchinov, for a Rinzel, but I think Kaiser is very, very good at it. Vlasic and Crevier can be savvy as well, getting those pucks through. Unfortunate, Sodi played a fantastic game. The first line was suffocated for almost the whole game. I'm rooting for the draft position since I hope we are not here again in my lifetime. Would like to get them the last top pick this year. Definitely agree. Sodi did those last couple goals, the last two ones by the Stars, especially the one in overtime. You kind of wish were saved, but he, like I said earlier, made some highlight reel saves in that second period. So I'm giving him a little bit of a slack, even though I know a lot of Blackhawks fans will not be. But yeah, this is probably, hopefully, the last chance the Blackhawks will have at a top draft pick. Hopefully, they're not even in this position again moving forward after this season. So I am definitely monitoring that. Good job by the boys to bounce back and tie the game when we know that so often this year they haven't when they've blown leads. They're a super young team, and each of these experiences help them in the long run. Definitely agree. That's why I'm not like full pro tank. Like I'm not like cheering against, because these experiences and coming back in the games, learning how to win games, these are important moving forward. This isn't like a video game where you can just lose every game and it doesn't matter. The experiences of coming back, winning, building these comebacks definitely are valuable. And like you said, they've blown a lot of leads this year where they don't come back. So it was nice to see them get that extra goal in the third period to push it to overtime and get a point in this game. Get Burakovsky off Bedard's line now. I definitely think we've gone past the time where I like to give players a little bit more of a grace period than I think some fans do, but we're definitely past the point where Burakovsky should probably be off Connor Bedard's line by now. But we'll see if there is any change. Probably not tomorrow on the second night of a back-to-back. I almost forgot to mention, I'm happy I just remember now, Nick Lardis did play in this game, but he played fourth line minutes. He only ended up playing 10 minutes in this hockey game. So maybe his role, I'd hope his role expands as the season goes on. I know people were a little bit caught off guard by that. I don't think it's too big of a deal in his first game back up. I think he traveled in from San Diego where the Ice Hogs played last night. So it's not too big of a deal to see his minutes limited early, but hopefully his role expands here moving forward as he gets back with the team. Maybe, I don't think he played last night, but he played 2 nights ago for sure with the Ice Hogs in San Diego, then travel, because I don't think they would play him 3 nights in a row, because the Blackhawks have another game tomorrow versus Utah back at the United Center. These are tough back-to-backs. It's the second back-to-back this year where the Blackhawks have to travel from Dallas back to Chicago to play. That's a real tough back-to-back. Luckily, this game was a little bit earlier. It wasn't like a late night game, so they should be all right. But yeah, the Blackhawks take on the Mammoth tomorrow. The Mammoth are a good team, but the Blackhawks have played them well this year, coming off that 4-0 shutout win in Salt Lake City just a few days ago. So they'll take on the Mammoth tomorrow night. We may see Drew Comesso get another start with the Blackhawks if Spencer Knight's still not ready to go. So that's something to monitor here moving into tomorrow. And yeah, that's going to do it for this one. My next video will be after tomorrow's game versus Utah.